What is going on, Minties? The Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition. And today we're going to take an advanced look at the Immortal Hulk Volume 1 oversized hardcover from Marvel. So please stay tuned. Now, before we take a look at the inside of the book, I'd like to say a thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending me an advanced copy of the book. And you can purchase the book when it comes out from... This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Okay, so the book is scheduled to come out on October 2nd. That's at comic book stores and places like Cheap Graphic Novels. However, at places like Amazon and Barnes & Noble, it's probably a few weeks afterwards. Here is the spine. And I always love to see Volume 1. Just like I like to see oversized hardcovers. Again, I know that we've had Thor oversized hardcovers. We've had most of Donny Cates stuff collected in oversized hardcover at Marvel. So I'm glad they're continuing this line in case they don't do Omnis later on. But let me tell you about this run. Actually, let's do something really quick. This particular run happens after the events of this book right here, which is Hulk Omega Hulk Book 2. It's the Jerry Duggan and Mark Bagley run. And I want to say that this has also been collected in a complete collection. And it definitely happens after the events of Civil War II. Something happens within the pages of Civil War II that kind of changes Bruce Banner and Hulk within these pages. Here, let's look at the underneath the dust jacket. You have this nice image from the inside of the book by Joe Bennett. Okay, let's take a look at it. I like the design of the internal green there. There's a nice image. I believe that's from Avengers. Here is your creative team. You have Al Ewing, like I said, writing the book. Joe Bennett penciling it. You have a few other artists doing some of the different stories, which I'll talk about a little bit. But my favorite name that I saw here was Paul Mounts. That goes way back. He is one of my favorite colorists of all time. And giving credit where credit is due, here's your collection editor, Mark Beasley and Caitlin O'Connell. All these wonderful people that put the book together. Here is an introduction by Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire, of course, being popular for Black Hammer, Gideon Falls. He wrote Extraordinary X-Men. He's written a ton of stuff for DC, like Sweet Tooth. All the non-variant covers, I say, are done by Alex Ross. And Joe Bennett, man, he has come a long way. So this collects issues 1 through 10 of Immortal Hulk, and then just one issue, the Avengers 684, which is kind of the return of the Incredible Hulk. I'm just trying to flip through here, like I said, without giving any spoilers, and talk just a little bit about the book. The book reminds me of a mix between, this is going to sound corny, but stay with me, the TV show, the original 70s and early 80s Incredible Hulk TV show, and the horror elements that Bruce Jones brought into his run of Incredible Hulk. So I'll just make it simple. It's the story of Bruce Banner going around America trying to fix small problems with horror elements thrown in that fit the book perfectly. And yes, you still have your guest stars and super villains, I guess, in a way, because there's some behind the scenes that are going on as to what's happening in his life. I could not put the book down. Normally when I do these overviews, I like to look at the book, look at the artwork, look at the build of the book so I can prep these videos for you all. But I ended up reading this last night when I opened it up. I loved it. Like, I only had read the first issue and I was hooked. This is beautiful Alex Ross covers again. But man, I just couldn't put it down. This particular issue right here, this issue 3. By the way, this is another thing that makes me think that it borrows a little bit from the Incredible Hulk TV series. There's a character named Jackie McGee. She's a reporter and she's following Bruce Banner. So I don't know if you all remember this or not. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember, but in the Incredible Hulk, there was a reporter that was following David Banner, who was the Hulk in the TV show. And his name was Jack McGee. So obviously that is heavily in your face and homage to that character. So this is one of my favorite stories. This is the one that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to put this book down. This is issue 3, and it's done in Kurosawa Rashomon kind of way. And if you don't know what I mean, it's done through... It's the same story told through 3 different people's perspective is what this is. Brilliantly done. The artwork is different enough from each of the different people telling the story. I loved it, and that's all I will say. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay away from spoilers and not reviewing the book and just talk about the build of the book. So let's do that. So we have this glossy paper that makes the artwork really stand out. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The colors, Paul Mount's colors, and look amazing like this. Here's a few guest stars. I'm sure you knew this was coming. The Avengers were going to eventually show up, so that's not much of a spoiler. And as I said, to me, Joe Bennett was one of those 90s artists that just kind of got lost in the mix. Like, he was okay, but nothing he did really stood out to me. This, I was like, man, he is the perfect artist for this book. I freaking loved it. Okay, just a few more pages, and then I'm going to go to the back. Otherwise, this is going to turn into a review of the Immortal Hulk. But if you're not reading this, you really should, because it's really damn good. Okay, so it looks like Avengers 684 is collected all the way in the back. And this issue, I don't know if y'all remember, served as a purpose to kind of tell you how... what happened to Bruce Banner and how he was able to, how do I put it without spoiling it? How he was able to stick around in the Marvel Universe. I guess I'll leave it at that. Here is an afterword by Al Ewing. Here's the cover process from Alex Ross. These are the extras in the back. The character studies from Joe Bennett. Variant cover. That's ridiculous. Scotty Young, of course. Carrie Andrews. I haven't seen that guy doing internal work for a while. Del Keon, that's Sal Buscema. By the way, there's a lot of things in here. Like there's a cafe called Trimps, or Trimpy, depending on how you say Herb Trimp's name. There's a Buscema bank. Just little things like that they throw at you that I'm like, oh, nostalgia. Thank you. Thank you so much. And these are the covers. Oh, I love this. Even though Wolverine looks a lot older than I want him to look, but this is the new Fantastic Four. And here's some more variants. Just gorgeous variants. And one of my favorite variants by In-Hyuk Lee. I hope I'm saying the gentleman's name right. And that's with Conan versus Hulk. And that's it. As far as the build of the book, you can tell that it laid over nice. It's got sewn binding. It is gorgeously put together. There's nothing negative I can say about the build. I was able to read it last night, so all the pages are in order. Sometimes I worry when I do these things, I don't look at every single page, and people are like, a few years later that open up their book are like, hey man, why the hell didn't you tell me that page 191 and 192 are switched? Because I didn't have enough time to read it, usually. But with this, I couldn't put it down, so the pages are in order, so have no fear. It's a great book, it's a great collection, and I highly recommend it. And that was the contents of the book and where it fits in the chronological Hulk reading order. Again, I couldn't put the book down. I hope you check it out if you haven't already in single formats or in trade paperback formats, or you were waiting for this oversized hardcover. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to end up getting it, or if you've been reading it monthly, because I'm very jealous of that. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on Redbubble. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you for watching, and remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.